Good evening and welcome to TDM Talk Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Wilhelm. Our guest tonight is a real estate expert and president of Anzac Realty, Nestor. With decades of experience in the market and having witnessed Macau's resilience to shocks both internal and external, Mr. Ng is here to give us some insight as to what could lay ahead amongst ongoing epidemic and prevention measures, and what opportunities and possible threats the market's facing. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Just this afternoon, we saw that there was some good news, at least in terms of the local SMEs. It seems like some of them are going to be able to reopen starting March 2nd at midnight. But they've been going through a tough time right now, especially in terms of the rental market. But let's go back a little bit to the last quarter of 2019 to see what they were coming from and what now they've come into. So what did that look like at the time?
Well, in 2019, basically in the real estate market, we're talking about in terms of the rental markets and also the sales market. It's been very stable and steady, especially the investor or the residents or the buyer, they get used to the new stamp duty law. For example, like the second property, if they acquire if they already have the first one, so the second property would be the 5% extra. The third one would be 10% extra. So the property market actually kind of like cool down. But at the same time, when there's not many sales transactions, so there would be a lot of they will go into the rental section. So in the rental market and sales, again, like the sales transaction is pretty steady. And then we are talking about the 2020. So usually this year, the Chinese New Year is in the January. So usually it's a typical like slowdown session. And unfortunately, we have the coronavirus. So now it's been talking about like we talk again, it's like kind of slow down a lot. Yeah.
So it seems like if this was meant to be slow already, are you seeing that it has slowed down exponentially beyond that? Like, let's say if we were looking at a 10%, 15% reduction, are we now at maybe a 30% reduction in terms of interest?
Yeah, I think the sales transaction usually in the beginning of the year usually is a slow season. But like I said, the rental market right now, because of the new policy, we are talking about the foreign labor with the blue cards. They cannot come in and out freely as before. So in the past 1 month, especially in the past 2 weeks, a lot of like business owner, they need to find a rental unit, like a short-term rental unit for their workforce. So we had a lot of inquiries, not only looking for units, but at the same time, you see a lot of business owner, they want to be asking the landlord to lower the rent in order to keep to keep their business ongoing.
How does that work in terms of the short-term interest? Because the blue card holders in particular, they're not sure when this epidemic is going to end. So they can't necessarily sign a 6-month contract or a 1-year contract. How does that work logistically for them?
So from the law perspective, it's legal. I mean, as long as you enter into a lease agreement. So I mean, starting like a lot of them, they're asking for like starting from 2 months rent or 3 months lease period. But we usually advise both ends maybe to put like at least longer term, but maybe the first 3 months at this certain amount of the rental amount, but maybe starting from the 4th to the 6th or the 4th to the 12th months would be another rental amount. So in order to protect both sides. Yeah, and then, but like what we discussed before, I mean, there are threats, opportunity, because we always, in the business world, I mean, we always talk about the SWOT analysis, right? The strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So like our current administration, I mean, we have a very effective way to stop the virus spreading and also to help the SME. And then at least this is the strength. I mean, we have a lot of different things going on, like the cash sharing and also the loan. And then I think the business owner, they are looking for at least the short term. A lot of requests right now are like asking us to help to negotiate, renegotiate, hopefully the shop rental, the office rental to be lowered. Hopefully offered by the landlord, they are able to give some relief.
It seems like, from the SME side, we've seen that interest, but the landlords at the same time, want to try and keep their income being
Exactly.
stable as well, especially amongst the ongoing downturn. How much willingness do you see on the side of the shop owners or the landlords of the shops in wanting to lower the rent?
Well, it really depends on the nature business of the tenant. I mean, for example, if you're talking about like the one who are still actually closed right now until the 2nd of March, those are really the most
vulnerable. Yeah.
Yes, I mean like the karaoke, the facial, the beauty salon, the education, the tutoring school. So those usually able to get a better deal, and also depends on the location.
Yes, very true.
Because this is a very like a market demand, supply and demand. I mean, it also depends on like what is your current position. If your rental price is at the top of the market price, it's fine. But I mean, if it's been a long time lower side, maybe usually the first month of like February was the worst. March we are hoping it will be recovered better. So we're talking about maybe 30%, 25 to 30%. I hear a lot of cases that the landlord are willing, but of course it's not everybody able to renegotiate. Yeah.
If they are renegotiating, do you think that they're only going to renegotiate for, let's say, the month of February, or would they go for a longer?
Usually 3 months.
3 months.
Okay. I hear the cases from my clients, and also we are able to assist some of the clients. The maximum usually 3 months.
Okay.
And then we renegotiate again because no one knows. Because no one knows. Yeah. Hopefully it will recover soon. You know.
Oh yes, for everyone.
That's what we're looking forward to. Yeah.
And it makes sense also in terms of the businesses being able to get back on their feet, because if you reduce for 1 month, but then they've had expenditure of say 300,000 per month that they've had to pay, if you have to give them time to get back and start having
because
revenue.
Chelsea, you know, this time is like. For us as an agent, and then for the tenant side, and then for the landlord side. I mean, 3 parties. We never had this type of experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had experience with like the financial crisis. I mean, during the SARS. Yes, I mean, so that's why a lot of time my friends, clients, they ask me, what do you think about this market? I said, we never had, nobody had an experience with this type of virus or the regulation, or even though the measurement or how the government react, because this time you see like everything's new to us.
Oh, including a new government who came in literally in December.
Yes.
You know, it all kind of just snowballed very quickly.
Yes.
And so I want to ask in regards to the current situation versus the closest possible comparison that we can have, which is the SARS outbreak, which this is already, certain experts have said this has already been more intense, and the economic impact will continue much longer than it did for SARS. How do you think that this compares, and what are some of the major differences within the property market? Does that mean that we will be able to recover quicker because of some of, let's say, the legislation that's been put in place to protect?
Yeah, I mean, from the real estate side, what I see right now, I wish I got a crystal ball to
I think we all do right now.
Yes. But we don't see a lot of like price. What I would say, we don't see a lot of big drops because of the supply and demand.
Yeah.
Right now, there's not many demands, and then we don't see a lot of supplies because, like I share with a lot of my clients and also my staff. Compared to SARS, during the SARS period, I mean like Macau and Hong Kong, we didn't have that many regulations. Back then, maybe there's no SSD,
stamp duty,
BSD, buyer stamp duty, and also additional double stamp duty. So back then was not regulated so tight. But I mean, our market's been a lot of different new rules, new laws. So whoever now own the property owners, so it would be more like they would have more like the power to, what I can say, the power to maintain this property. So it's different from the past.
Yeah.
So in the past, a lot of maybe investor, or they might have a lot of different properties. But this time we do see like they are more like with good holding power, we can say. Yeah. So we don't see that yet, but I do forecast maybe there will be some like price adjustment. Okay. I would say adjustment, not. I usually don't like to use the word like up or down. Adjustment.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean there might be some business owner. They might just like to reduce the size, restructuring. So a lot of restructuring is going on. So maybe then the next phase would be like the assets. So right now, I do see a lot of like different type of restructure.
If you had to look at one industry or various industries in particular that might be going through that restructuring and wanting to divulge some of the assets for a price that would be below what they would typically during a non-epidemic situation, what would be some of the players that you think would be involved?
You mean like to adjustment, right? For the I think the first hit would be like the shops, and office the same, because it might be some of the retails or food and beverages or service industry. Actually, you know, this difficult time, actually, it affects everybody.
The whole supply chain, yeah.
It's not because like last time, the financial crisis, it might be like mainly for the investment or the banks or some people like in the financial investment side. But this type is like we're talking about, like we go outside now. I mean, we go at the tourist hotspot. You don't see anybody.
Yeah, the ruins of St. Paul, it's deserted, yeah.
We never experienced this at all. And then like SARS, I mean, there are people still traveling. In a high measure. But right now, every single day we look at the news, there are some new policies, like unfortunately what happening in South Korea and Italy. So you see, I mean, we only have less people coming in. And then we never know when it's going to have another new regulation. Yeah.
Is it possible in terms of is it possible to predict, let's say, if we set an end date for March? There have been certain predictions. I think the Economist Intelligence Unit had predicted that in China, at least, in mainland China, it would start to tail off at the end of March, and we could see the end of some of the epidemic control measures. Macau has been very resilient through all of these past experiences, and the property market in particular. It's given lots of opportunities at lots of different times, but it's managed to maintain itself quite well, steadily going upwards. How long could that recovery, at least to the pre-epidemic prices, take?
To be very honest, it's very hard to say because like the price, we're talking about recover. So real estate market is a very like free trade business thing. So it's all again back to supply and demand. There might be opportunity that we never know what type of business. Actually, this is an opportunity. Like back to the beginning of the show, we talk about like SWOT analysis, right? Yeah. So when there's threats, there are also opportunities. So you see a lot of like new business, maybe talking about like the online. So they might take advantage of like they need more of offices, or even though for the retail space, and then we need maybe like more like for example like the beauty salon. I mean like pharmacists. So we never know. And then also you see the supermarket. I mean like so for example, when it goes back to talk about the recover moments, so it might the retail side depends on which type of business they're able to catch the ride.
It seems like a lot of that will also be dependent on consumption, though, because as you were mentioning, if we're not completely closing off our borders, but we are limiting our primary clientele for at least the integrated resorts and casinos, the mainland.
Yes.
And then the tourism. South Korea was one of our major tourist sources, aside from mainland China, you know, Japan, Hong Kong. Hong Kong were cut off because of the ferries.
Yes.
So it seems like local consumption seems to be driving a lot of that, and I guess that's where the new policy with the 3,000 cash coupon is meant to be coming into play for that. In terms of other government policies that have come into place, because we do have this new government, we do have a lot of uncertainties regarding that, and so far we've seen a lot of positive measures and positive quick action being taken. But one thing that we do have as a legacy from the previous government is that they did a lot to go and look at these land contracts, look at when they had expired, look at whether the development had happened or not, and whether it happened in line with that. And now we have a lot of land.
Yes.
We do have actually a much more sizable land bank, and it seems like, judging by the Pearl Horizon instance, in which they already have a layout for it, seems like it's getting implemented. What are some of the advantages for us now, and what is for the property market in terms of having that sizable land bank?
So as a resident and also as the real estate agent in this business, we are very happy and very glad to see like at least it's moving forward. Yeah. So like 2 days ago, I mean they had the public release, like to show us like the master plan, like the buildings and how the road structure. I think this is a very good start, Because in the past years, a lot of people been asking, how are we going to use that, and then how are we going to develop those? So back to the land usage, I think we do need like new plans and new construction to keep on moving. I mean, to keep on going, to keep on building. Because of the like you say, we do have a lot of old streets, old buildings.
Yes.
And then we do need to upgrade or to rebuild those, especially during the last like flooding or the typhoons. Yeah. So we do see from our business sector, we are happy to see like have more new projects going on, and then the demand and supplies as well. Actually, we do need a lot more apartments, the upgrade ones. Yeah, and then like maybe in the right size, because family size are different now. Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, like in 2019 and 2018, a lot of like a first-time buyer, like owner occupied, for the market of like 8 million and under, because of they can get 80% mortgage. Yeah. So that is the 45 years old and younger they can get. So we do see that is the majority of the sales transaction are those people. Yeah.
Well, and it was interesting to see current Chief Executive Ho Yat-seng, when he was campaigning, he made it such a very strong point to go to those neighborhoods and to talk about neighborhood renovation and reconstructing these so that we have not only the buildings for people to live in, but the facilities to then support them. Yes. So the schools, the parks, everything that's going to be needed for the communal needs. So it's interesting to see. It will be interesting to see how this all gets implemented and how quickly, what scale it's going to be implemented at. Yes. But in regards to the rental market going forward, because I know a lot of people are curious about this, and because they've been so pressured so far, let's say we have a recovery in the sales, which could take some time. But is there going to continue to be such a high demand for the rental market? Because we've heard a lot of these blue card holders, since the SME pressure has been, all of the SMEs have been under pressure, and even the larger companies, some of them had to take unpaid leave. Some of them were not able to keep their jobs, or they had to change sector. Yes. Does that mean that there will be a ripple effect on the rental market, potentially causing a drop in prices? I would say the rental market would be steady. Okay. Because in any type of like a business environment, yes, there is like a very big damage and difficult time right now. So for the blue card, like all the foreign workers, the expats, they need to have a space to stay, and then also I mean, maybe we do see some clients, they're concerned about the healthy issue in mainland China. So like I said, I mean, Macau has been very good at controlling the health issue, so they feel comfortable. And then a lot of Hong Kong people, they also come to work in Macau. Yeah. They also feel comfortable. Oh, this time, you know, for the period of time, Macau has been doing very well, thanks to our administration. I mean, so I do see another group of tenants might be moving to Macau and also stay in Macau. We don't have that. We don't have a lot of surplus, so I would say like the rental market, if the sales transaction is not active, then people still need a place to stay. Yeah. So we are talking about like 700,000, even those 500,000 residents here, people staying here. So we do see. I think the demand is still here. Yeah. What about the influence of, we hadn't yet discussed this, but there's the very strong plan for the reclaimed land zones to focus a lot on public housing. But there's been this kind of balancing board in between what is necessary actually to support, let's say, the sandwich class and the people who are of lower and medium income, and what else we could be doing with the land, because we have constructed quite a large amount of public housing. How does that come into play in terms of the overall market? Can it destabilize it by having too much? Well, I would say besides residential units, we are also talking about a lot of discussion of like the commercial, like offices, or maybe like the public utility purpose for the usage. I would say like in order, the current administration, we do have a very confident that he knows a lot of different information, and then he has great experience, and then we totally believe
the new administration will do a very good job because I mean during his campaign we hear like what he's planning to do, and then we actually so far very perfect. I mean good job, and then we talk about the reclaimed land is like a residential unit as well as I mean we expect we'll have like the commercial space to balance. I mean in Macau we do need actually more commercial office spaces and the residential unit is fine. And then after this type of this virus moment, I think it would be a good adjustment. A lot of business owners might be changing their angle.
Yeah.
I mean, retail shop, you can tell. I mean, like a lot of online marketing has been launching. I mean, every business, when you look at like the social media, like Facebook, WeChat, you see a lot of business owners are putting like online promotion.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I would say we never know what would be the new business coming into Macau, and so we don't see like it's a bad thing. So sometimes from the bad time we look at the good opportunity. So maybe you never know. We have some maybe new businesses do online promotion or maybe the IT support. So even though for the agency, we are also thinking about should we change some type of marketing as well. And then for the restaurant business owners, sometimes they don't have like a very good ordering system, but now they all change.
They're forced to, to online, to delivery, to
Yeah, actually, you know, you look at our society. So like we said, like I mean, now we are focusing on the local service. I mean, to serve our local market. You know, used to be maybe a lot of the business owners they might just rely on the foreign. I mean, the Chinese tourists or maybe the clients.
Well, I mean, we saw, for example, the mice industry, the souvenir industry. They were some of the first ones to go. And also, I mean, within your role as the Secretary General of the Macau Commerce and Industrial Association, you're very, very well acquainted with these SMEs, with the industrial structure of Macau. So I wanted to ask you more from an economic angle and from the angle of these businesses. Macau is resilient in terms of the property market. Macau has seen some difficulties in being able to diversify away from what has been making it so much money and contributing to the other social benefits that we have because the government is able to tax the gaming revenue. But that diversification, how hard are people working towards it?
You're talking about the diversification, right? So,
which is a very general term. I mean, it could mean IT, it could mean finance, it could mean offshore renminbi. There are so many different areas that are out there.
So we can also discuss further on the GBA. I mean, the Greater Bay Area. So this time it seems like it's making all the SME have to really like execute what we've been planning or discussing how to make our business role or to get involved into the GBA, the initiative, I mean the scheme. So this period, we also gather and then as our association, and then we had like meeting with the members, with like brainstorming what can be done. So for this time, it's like people are more united. This is the good thing of the environment in Macau. So we encourage like more united and then work together, like to share like what you said, I mean, the diversification, like IT, beauty salon, education. So different association, actually, I do see a lot of activities, like the members or like even though association, the networking. So I do see, and then we encourage the more like communication, cooperation, hands on hands. I mean, we're holding hands. We're really like, we want a lot of hands and we all hold hands together. So in order to like take advantage of the GBA and also like among ourselves, because we need to like do a lot of local business to, for example, like what we say in our association, we have the banks to promote the most current like loan programs. And then to our members, and then we also exchanging ideas. So for example, like what I said, like the restaurant, they want to do the takeaway business. So maybe we in the group, we just say, hey, he's interested to do more takeaway. Anyone maybe doing the IT system, maybe the POS system, anyone on the delivery, or even though ask any member have any sources to buy maybe the takeaway box, because they might need the demand. So for example, like my agency, I ask for like a IT support or even a social media marketing specialist because we never really execute it. We know that's the direction. But now we are encouraging like different business owner execute. I mean, whatever you planned it before, it's time to
speed it up. Yeah,
it's time to do it. Just don't say it. You have to do it. Just do it.
That's great because I mean, all of these local businesses coming together to try and face it together. That's what these tough times are meant to do. They're meant to bring people together and meant to show solidarity and try and improve. I find it very, very interesting that a lot of the work that has been done so far, specifically speaking of the Greater Bay Area, the main clientele, or we're selling services and goods to the other cities in the Greater Bay Area, except for one. Those are all in China. And China isn't looking like it wants to buy too much of our stuff right now, whether it's goods or services, unless it's mask or sanitation products. So it seems like not only are the businesses facing this conundrum of having to accelerate their plans, but also look for other clientele. And not only the consumers from Macau. Is there any room, let's say, I mean, we do have the SEPA agreement, we have some very beneficial tax policies which allow for the movement of goods not only to Macau, but then the processing in Macau. The so-called Made in Macau initiatives. Is there any way that can be beneficial to, let's say, markets further abroad? Well, it could be Japan, it could be Korea, it could be Australia, the United States, Europe.
Yeah, we have the advantage of the free trade city, and then we still have like the two different policy. And then one nation, two policies, and then also the advantage of Macau is the Portuguese-speaking platform.
And they've been pushing that a lot recently. We've seen a lot of people coming in, products, goods, services.
Yes, I do see this is another opportunity that we should look into what we have on our hands, and also we can reach out. So like the Portuguese-speaking countries platform is a humongous opportunities out there. So right now, I mean, we don't think about within the box. I mean, not only like from importing and exporting, we can provide services and then also the consultation. So there's no other cities that have our advantages, like we can reach China with a relationship with China, and then also the relationship with the Portuguese speaking, and then the SIPA, like what you just said, and then it's advantage. So I would say there's humongous opportunity. We're just not looking only on our travel, F&B, and also gaming, because this is a very unique, and then we have like fluent Portuguese speaking people in Macau. We are talking about all these professional or non-professional Portuguese speaking personnel is one of the very high tech. I mean a high knowledge. I mean high skill. So we are in the Asia time. There's no time difference. Like I'm in the real estate sector. We have clients that they are investing in Portugal and also planning to invest. So they love it. I mean, because in Macau we have like the banks, the legal, and then they don't have to look at the clock and to see if there's any time difference to wait and contact Portugal. They can just make any appointment or call in Macau. So this is one of the things that professional service, anything related to the Portuguese-speaking country, this is what we can offer to everyone in Asia, at least the time zone. So this is one of our advantage. And then for the real estate market, back to the real estate market, what I just think of is like the sale and the rental market we just mentioned before. Sorry, jump back to that.
No, it's fine.
I would say it's about the confident feeling. A lot of hesitation might occur in the next coming like 3 to 6 months. So maybe some of the, like you said, the expat or maybe the tenant, they are not sure we're talking about uncertain, unknown. So this might affect their purchasing or spending behaviors. So this is what I want to share with you as well. So for the purchase or for making a decision to rent a place or to buy a place, so that might affect the transaction. But if you always need a house to stay, so they might rent a smaller space instead of like a 3-bedroom. They might consider only 2 bedrooms. In the beginning, maybe they're planning to buy a 3-bedroom. Now maybe let's
Slow down, yeah.
maybe husband and wife, hey, dear, let's do a 2-bedroom first, because I'm not sure if my job might be, might be change of position or even maybe some change in the salary. So not only for the real estate market, to the SME, I also share with all the business owner, like before, like car purchase or even though maybe the ladies, they go to a beauty salon or tutor school for the kids' education. A lot of prepay, right? In the past, maybe they prepay 12 months.
Okay.
But now maybe they just prepay maybe 6 months.
Okay.
Because they're not sure of the income. That is the what I see in the short term.
Okay.
This is what I see.
And it's not only disposable income in terms of just luxury goods, it's more of, like you're talking about, education, practical things which are going to be influencing their lives.
Yeah, because the luxury item, for example, like travel or, well, travel, right now maybe a lot of cancellation of the travel plans.
Slight problem.
So travel plans. And then you're talking about luxury item, maybe like watch or clothes or whatever. Those are one-time purchase. But we are talking about, especially real estate, it's an ongoing monthly thing. You have to pay rent or you pay mortgage every single month. So that affects the decision making, that have a big impact on the decision making.
Overall, in terms of compared to SARS and compared to previous shocks that we've gone through, would you say that Macau is stronger and more prepared to face this and recover than we were before?
I would say so, because for this period of time, and then our CEO and the administration, every single department, they're doing a fantastic job. But a lot of business owners, like in the past week, every single day, we do hear a lot of association asking for the one-time
the one-off
subsidies. Yeah.
Similar to Typhoon Hato.
Yes, we understand. But I do see that it needs to take time for the step by step, because we cannot have the subsidies, every single policy, throw out at once. So they do need to look at different sectors to see what's going on. But at least they are very effective. Like to limit the border and also like the casino, the crowded place to close down. And then right now they reopen on the 2nd of March. So we do see at least they have the plan. A lot of research, and I'm sure with a lot of experts, they're doing a lot of research and in different sectors. So it's better well prepared than the last time. People learn. We learn from our experience. Like you and I, we look at, most of the people, 99% on the street, everyone are wearing masks. And then we're cleaning hands. So at least we need to work together. So people do work together, and then so we do see the recovery would be definitely better than last time.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, we will see in the coming weeks. Hopefully, we will only have to wait a couple weeks for this to be over, or sooner. Let's see.
Yes.
In the meantime, I'm very reassured to hear that people are working together, in particular in terms of business, and also being forgiving in terms of the rental and being open to try and succeed and grow together.
Yes.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
That's all for this evening. Join us again next week for more TDM Talk Show. Good night.